Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Steve,
I'm Scott.
and he's Scott. And together we're Backyard Musings. I'm broadcasting from Apple Valley,
And I'm in Utah.
and we're the Science and Technology channel. All things science or technology. All right. So a shocking transformation has gripped West Greenland, where thousands of once pristine blue lakes turned brown after an extreme climate event. Heavy rainfall and thawing permafrost flushed carbon and metals into the waters, disrupting the region's delicate ecological balance. Instead of storing carbon, the lakes now release massive amounts of greenhouse gases, marking a dramatic and rapid environmental shift that would normally take centuries. Scientists warn that these changes could have lasting consequences for both the Arctic and the global climate. Would you like to know more?
So, West Greenland is a home to tens of thousands of clear blue lakes that supply drinking water and help absorb carbon from the atmosphere. However, after 2 months of record breaking heat and rainfall in the fall of 2022, approximately 7,500 of these lakes turned brown, began releasing carbon instead of storing it, and experienced a decline in water quality. Not good. According to a new study,
Yeah.
a research team led by Jasmine Soros, a Fulbright Distinguished Arctic Scholar and Associate Director of the University of Maine's Climate Change Institute, found that these extreme climate events triggered an ecological shift that pushed Arctic lakes across a tipping point. That was a quote. Their study, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, revealed that by 2023, July, less than a year later, the physical, chemical, and biological characteristics of these lakes had drastically changed. This level of transformation would typically take centuries, Soros noted. Their findings shared with local communities. That's kind of scary, right? I mean, what would have caused something like that? So
the water runoff was bringing too many minerals into the rain runoff. Was bringing too many minerals into the lakes, into the water.
Kind of overpowering it.
Yeah. So it's a little bit crazy. Greenland usually experiences snowfall in the fall, but the unusual heat caused precipitation to fall as rain instead. The warmth also thawed permafrost, frozen ground that holds large amounts of organic carbon, releasing carbon, iron, magnesium, and other elements into the environment. As record-breaking rainfall swept across the region, these newly exposed materials were washed from the soil into the lakes, turning them brown.
Okay, so normally they would have snow and or ice during this period of time, which would be storing all this stuff, right?
Yep.
Until the spring thaw. But what would make it different if would the thaw be, you think the thaw would be gradual in the spring? What if they have a spring? I guess they have a spring. Spring period where the snow and ice starts to thaw.
So these minerals are in the permafrost, and when the permafrost stops being permafrost and thaws, then I guess that's where it runs off.
So it acts kind of like a sponge.
I've experienced this in Alaska, where during the summer months, the permafrost, it's all mushy, like mud almost, and I can just imagine these water running off into these lakes, and it's carrying these minerals with them. I can see that.
All right. So Saros, also a professor of paleolimnology and lake ecology with University of Maine's School of Biology and Ecology, said the rapid alteration in West Greenland's lakes contrasts with the slow, multi-decade-long browning experienced in lakes across the northern hemisphere, including those in Maine. This is a quote from Dr. Saros. The magnitude of this and the rate of change were unprecedented. So,
the influx of dissolved organic carbon and nutrients from the permafrost can promote bacteria growth and produce an undesirable taste and odor in the water. In addition to altering color, Soros said, increased exposure to metals released from permafrost can also cause health problems. by identifying the type and quantity of organic and inorganic materials entering the lakes. Following the climate extreme events, residents in the surrounding area can better evaluate how to treat their water. Quote, the increased dissolved organic material can interact with drinking water treatment processes to produce chlorination byproducts called trihalomethanes, which may be carcinogenic, Saros said.
Well, that wouldn't be good for the drinking water, right?
No, not at all.
With altered physical and chemical properties, the lakes became more opaque and less light was able to penetrate their surface. The reduction in light decreased the biodiversity of plankton, which had significant ramifications of the region's carbon cycle. Researchers found a decrease in the phytoplankton that absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through photosynthesis, and an increase in plankton that break down and release carbon. Instead of sequestering carbon dioxide in the summer, the lakes have become a source of it, with a 350% increase in the flux of this greenhouse gas from them. So,
yeah. So here's a quote. The likely explanation is that so much organic carbon mobilized from the landscape into the surface water, and the organic carbon was available for aquatic organisms to use, Saros said. Because the lakes turned so brown, it reduced the light coming into the system, which tends to favor organisms that use organic carbon pathways instead of photosynthesis, end quote.
Researchers concluded that the rise in heat and precipitation was caused by several atmospheric rivers. An atmospheric river is a long, narrow column of water vapor that produces intense rain or snow when it makes landfall. They affect much of the world, and existing climate models predict that by the end of the century, they will become 50 to 290%. That's a wide spread.
So that's a big spread.
Yeah, more frequent in Greenland, Western North America, East Asia, Western Europe, and Antarctica. That's a huge area.
Yeah, that is. That's going to affect the globe.
Yeah.
So Saros said additional research and monitoring could help determine how these lakes may recover, providing greater insight into lake dynamics in the region. Further studies can also help scientists examine browning lakes across the northern hemisphere, how they may recover, and potential treatment and intervention. Quote, it was such an overwhelming climate force that drove all the lakes to respond in the same way, Saros said. When it comes to recovery, will it be the same across lakes or different?
The study was made possible through extensive data collection obtained through annual water sampling and remote sensors in the lakes that operate year-round. Quote, our study demonstrates the power of long-term observation. I've been working in this area since 2013 and have worked on many projects here. But in the background, my colleagues and I have been trying to maintain a consistent data set of observations. So that was quoted by Dr. Saros. And again, that's how we were able to capture and quantify the effects of this extreme climate event. So I'm thinking, I'm a freshwater fisherman. So I'm thinking, man, these lakes could have, they could be devastating to the fish or any other life that's in there, right?
Yeah.
Which could affect, that could affect not only drinking water, but it could affect tourist trade or people that, maybe commercial fishermen. I mean, it's hard to say.
It could reduce the value of the country if it's sold.
Right. Which
you
is
could
something.
buy it for a cheaper price.
Oh.
Because you got to clean this up.
Yeah.
Got to do something to clean it up.
Or give us a discount. Yeah. Could you imagine, though? I mean, let's say we did buy this thing. And, what's going to happen? The EPA is going to go in there and they're going to run amok.
Well, I think they're going to try and figure out a fix for it. That's what I would think.
Yeah, that would be good. But yeah,
would be
especially
good
for the people of Greenland, whether it becomes the 51st state or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, that would be something that they need to do. So anyway, good story.
Greenland, yeah, interesting story.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. We'll see you in the morning.
Take care, everyone. Thanks.